Toxic family members seem to come in all shapes and sizes, and never do they seem more toxic than in stories like today's first one. G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Arsehole? Now, if you love today's bloody good stories, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and get ready for them. Let's go. Am I the asshole for telling my niece to ditch her mum and live with me? So, in my family, we have a term, oops baby, for the unplanned family members. This should be a clue that my family sucks. I was an oops baby, and so was my eldest niece. Now, long story short, my mum was a crappy parent to me, and I recognized the same thing happening with my sister and niece. Both were better parents to their other, non-oops children. Niece has graduated from a prestigious uni with a good degree in law, and is doing the next stages in her profession. Her parents are trying to steer her to a specific field, and she doesn't want to go that way. I know her, and it won't suit her. Other than letting her vent, I haven't been involved until her parents told her that she either does as she's told, or they withdraw their support, and she will effectively be homeless and would have to give up on her dream anyway. She called me up to vent, and I said, "I'll support you. Tell my sister to go F herself, and I can support you." Here's where I might be the asshole. Her parents don't like how competitive her field is. They don't like that her first 3 years are basically unpaid internship and that she'll be taken away from her family. They say that if she takes their route, it's a guaranteed income and 99% a secure job at their end. My boyfriend says I did the right thing and she needs someone to encourage her, but my mum is convinced I'm the asshole for getting involved and putting her feet on a dangerous path. Edit. Financially, all of the older adults are secure. We can all afford to support niece for the foreseeable future. Also, boyfriend was aware that I'd considered this prior to the offer. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. Her parents' concerns are real. It is a challenging field with strong competition and a little reward in the early years. Am I the asshole for encouraging her to follow such a risky path? Now in the comments, she's an adult, and her parents are trying to blackmail her into the future that they think is best for her. She gets to choose her own future. You are not the asshole as long as your support is for the full time that she will need to complete her unpaid internship. Exactly. It would have been no assholes here if her parents weren't blackmailing her into the career path that they think is best. Wanting their child to have a stable career is a legitimate concern, but blackmailing her with homelessness made them the assholes. Not the asshole, OP. You are an amazing aunt for supporting your niece. I hope the best for your niece in her future career endeavors. Not the asshole. At least as it relates to the specific question. You're not the asshole for offering your niece a place to live if she wants to pursue the type of law that she wants. But your sister is also not the asshole for wanting her child to pursue a field with guaranteed employment. Also, your niece is not the asshole for whatever decision that she makes. Dreams versus stability is a really hard choice to make. Unrelated to the situation at hand, and I'll write a judgment comment in a minute, but oops baby is not unique to your family. Babies are an occasional result of sex no matter what precautions are taken, even when we least expect it. The crappy thing is giving kids shtick about it when, who were the ones that oopsed versus innocent parties to the moment in question? And OP replies, assumed it wasn't unique, but figured constantly telling your child they were a mistake was less common. One of my friends was an oops baby, and his parents made it well known that he was. He had 2 siblings that were 20 plus years older than him, and then a younger brother. His parents would constantly tell him he wasn't planned, but his brother was because they had to have another baby to give him a companion growing up. It always made me feel so uncomfortable hearing it. And now on to the update. It's been about a month since I posted this, and as it did pretty well, I thought people might want an update. So we had a conversation. My first question was, what are her chances of getting through her current year, the biggest bottleneck, and she said her supervisor believes that it's as close to guaranteed as it could be, and about what she actually needed from me financially, etc. It was less than I thought. Her internship actually pays her rent and leaves her with pocket change for other monthly outgoings. She really needs support with utilities and food. When I looked at her budget, I was impressed with how frugal she's been. Pissed at my sister for making her scrape by, as she has a fresh fruit budget in her second treat section, FFS. Something I didn't make clear in my initial post is that my family are wealthy. We come from privileged backgrounds and all have good incomes. This was never about financial constraints. I have taken on my niece's bills and increased her allowance. And something that I wasn't aware of prior to this is that my boyfriend pays her gym membership. They've known each other for years, and apparently when she left uni and was lamenting losing the cheap gym, he offered her a gym membership for her birthday, or birthdays. We decided to have a video conference with her parents to tell them, as COVID was stopping face-to-face. She thanked them all for all they had done for her, thanked them for supporting her, and said she knew they were only wanting to look out for her with their concerns. I stepped in and said that I know it's difficult for parents to watch their kids take risks, but that you have to let them try, and that I would be supporting the niece from now on. My sister snapped. She called me an interfering C-word and said that I was leading her daughter astray. My niece stepped in, and her mum called her ungrateful and basically said that she was a disappointment. I'm not gonna lie, I lost it. I tore sister a new one, told her that she'd gone from rich daddy to rich hubby without ever having a job, while I had joined the army and secured a well-paying job on discharge, and if anyone was a disappointment, it was her as a mother. I told her that she was living down to the standard our mother set with me. My niece ended the call. So my mother called and abused me a bit, but honestly, it felt like a light had gone on. A few of you asked why I cared what my mother thought, and all of a sudden I didn't. I had seen my mother's behavior in my sister, and it felt like the spell broke. I told her to do one, and hung up. I feel bad my niece may have lost contact with her family, but she seems to feel good about it. I'm proud of her, especially as she was the only one who behaved like an adult in the end. Edit. Holy crap, you're all so lovely, and thank you all for the kind words, the awards, and the sweet messages. I've read all of them, and you made me cry happy tears. I'm gonna see my niece again next month, and I'll give her an extra hug from all of you. Edit 2. You can only post one update per original post, and I really didn't think this would need another update, but stuff happened and here we are. My niece, boyfriend, and I met up, and she had news. She had made it through the year 1 cull and had secured a really good entry position in the team. Basically, she got exactly what she wanted, and it was clear that she was really excited and really enjoying her new role. Any doubts I may have had about this being the right thing vanished seeing her so happy. We took her out for a meal to celebrate, dropped her home, and boyfriend and I talked about getting her a car as a new role means she can't rely on public transport. About a fortnight later, I get a call late at night, and it was a hospital telling me my mother is in hospital and it doesn't look good. Apparently I'm down as her ICE number. I have no idea why, maybe because I'm medical, maybe to mess with me? I call the rest of family and make my way to the hospital. Boyfriend drives me because I was post 14-hour shift. In hospital, mum is awake but her numbers are crap and it's obvious she's on the way out. She uses her final words to tell me that I'm a disappointment, I ruined not only my life, but now my niece's too, and I've spoiled another mother-daughter relationship. I say nothing and walk out. She died a few hours later. I called my niece to tell her, and she checks I'm okay, and boyfriend puts me to bed. I then wake up to a phone showing multiple missed calls and messages, 99+, from my sister, and a few from other siblings, saying that now that I've put my mother in an early grave, I should give up on my niece. Boyfriend was on phone with niece who had received similar calls. A few days later, my 2 sisters showed up at the door with an aunt to barge in and berate me. I will admit I slipped a bit, because I reverted to the 16-year-old I once was, throwing sarcasm and bile. My boyfriend stepped in and threw them out, physically with the oldest sister. So now I'm legally no contact with family, and niece is too. We've got niece a wee city car, and we're both going to therapy after all this. Now in the comments, your niece didn't lose her family. She has you, and that's her family. It's wonderful you've stepped up for her. I hope she succeeds in fulfilling her dreams and proves to her awful parents how wrong they are. And OP replies, lol, my boyfriend said something similar. You're bound to succeed now, mate. You got Spite on your side. Don't worry, when your niece has a well-paying job in a field she loves, her mum will still take credit for it all. You and your boyfriend are amazing. I hope your niece smashes her life goals. I have no doubt she will with the support that you're giving her. And OP replies, honestly, I could brag about my boyfriend all day. This post, the response to it, has made me realize what I've done is a good thing too. It sounds egotistical when I put it like that. No, not egotistical at all. I can't believe your family made you doubt yourself and your kindness. You literally just changed her whole life story for nothing other than your pure love for her. It's obvious you didn't expect the accolades, but you sure as crap deserve them. Being proud of yourself isn't always egotistical. You deserve to enjoy this moment of pride in your actions. The idea that it's egotistical to ever be proud of yourself is probably the result of your toxic upbringing. Our next post is titled, Would I be the arsehole for not going to my brother's wedding? So my brother and I used to be really close. We both struggled with having shitty, abusive parents, and we leaned on each other for support. That was until he met Sarah. Sarah has changed him. He stopped hanging out with me, and he stopped talking to me, so now we barely talk. I'm certain that Sarah is responsible for the change. As a child, I was very sick, having many different problems, including a cancerous lump that was removed. Not a big deal, as I recovered, and I was too young to really understand most of it, but some of those issues carried on into my adulthood. Sarah came up to me about a year ago and started discussing these problems with me, giving me advice that wasn't the least bit helpful and was only condescending. Sarah's good at this. She makes judgmental little comments all the time. The thing is, even my best friends don't know about these issues because I never talk about them. My brother has never been included in discussions about them, nor was my dad when I reached a certain age. I only discuss this stuff with my mom. I can barely talk to doctors about it, and yet my brother told Sarah everything he knew. 2 years ago, they got engaged. They told me by showing up at my work with all the family. They also had lunch at my work, and I had to watch our families have lunch together while I worked and couldn't join. I then found out it was only at my work because my dad forced him to tell me about the engagement before he posted it over social media, which he initially wasn't going to do. He had intended for me to find out with his Facebook friends, even though my parents and her family were all told personally. Fast forward to the start of this year. I had a mental breakdown in March and faced losing my flat. My brother stole a key and let himself and Sarah in so they could stand and judge me while I was struggling. He took pictures of me that ended up being used for blackmail, but that's a different story. I later found out that he tried to convince my mother to section me and have me committed to the mental hospital. Way to kick a girl when she's down. A couple of months ago, I found out that Sarah's sister is the maid of honor. Her brother is a witness, her cousins are signing, her parents are bell ringing, my mother is doing the flowers, and my father is a priest who is conducting the ceremony. And I'm not included. I'm the only person in the family who isn't included in some way. And that brings us to last night. I found a wedding invitation in my mother's kitchen. It turns out that the invites have been sent out, and I didn't get one. My brother seems to think that I don't deserve my own invitation. I also found that the date he's chosen is the day before my birthday. So now my birthday will always be eclipsed by his wedding anniversary. Am I the asshole for not deciding to go to the wedding? My mother said that I was overreacting and that he's my brother and I should just be supportive. Now in the comments, it seems like he's doing everything he can to make you feel unwelcome. Why don't you arrange to do something different for that day, so even if he does ask, you have a valid excuse? Sorry, I've got a weekend away scheduled with a friend. If it's affecting your mental health as much as it sounds, you have no reason to put yourself through this, and nobody wants you to bottle up your feelings only to explode and make a scene on the day. I would seriously consider cutting off any toxic family members that are pulling this kind of crap. Not the asshole, and good luck. And OP replies, He used to be my favorite person, and even though this is going on, the thought of cutting him off completely breaks my heart. It's cleaner to break your own heart once than to let someone else break it every single day. And OP also has her own comment and says, I only just remembered this small detail since some people have mentioned it. I am technically not invited since I didn't receive an invitation, but they still expect me to go. Sarah even asked me to buy her 500-pound Louboutins as her wedding present. You do realize how ridiculous that sounds, right? I've got to say, after everything you've written about, if you still go, you are way past any kind of help that Reddit can provide. And OP replies, touche. As much as you love your brother and family, don't let yourself be their doormat. You are so much better than that. Just the fact that you are hesitant in going no contact with them and asking this question shows your sincere care and empathy. They quite frankly sound like trashy, self-serving people, so give yourself space and time to heal and flourish without their toxicity. We're all rooting for you. Good luck. Info. I think we need to revisit this blackmail. What the hell? Why would they just let themselves into your apartment? What were you doing that was so awful that it could be used for blackmail? It sounds like a big 180 for your brother. Are you quite sure there's nothing you've done to affect the change? This all sounds quite one-sided and doesn't really make any sense. And OP replies, the blackmail was from someone else. It was just pictures that he took and sent around that caused it. In the midst of my breakdown, I had trashed the place, and it was really bad and I wasn't looking after myself. He sent these pictures to his friend, who sent them to an ex-friend of mine who I had cut off after they owed me money and a bunch of other stuff. They attempted to use these images as blackmail, and then posted them over Facebook. It was a big 180 for him, but I don't know what I could have done that was bad enough for this. I'm an average annoying little sister, but other than that, I don't know. And someone replies to OP, also, I'm sorry to tell you, but this is not his fiance's fault. She may be enabling him to act out in ways that he never did before, but you really need to fully accept and always remember that he did these things. If they break up and he tries to come crawling back into your life, do not expect that he will be the person that he once was. If he does come back and tries to resume the relationship, understand he is still the person who chose to do all of these things. And OP replies, I bear that in mind. Thank you. And now onto the update. I'm still getting messages asking for updates, so here it is. My parents eventually came around and have now seen Sarah's behavior firsthand. They bought my brother a car as a wedding present. It wasn't new, but it ran great. But Sarah shat all over it because it wasn't brand new or a make that she approved of. They basically told her that it wasn't hers, and she could either get in it or not. They also saw how opinionated they both are at Christmas. Sarah said that we were all horrible people because we had Amazon Prime subscriptions. My mother now supports me not going to the wedding. She's not happy about it, but she understands. I will be going camping with my friends instead for the entire week. I haven't spoken to my brother or Sarah since that last post, and they've been pissing off more and more people lately with their attitude. For those who suggested I go no contact with my whole family, that doesn't logistically work as I depend on them for financial support, and due to being a student, I can't get support elsewhere. Also, my university graduation is a week or so after the wedding, and neither my brother nor Sarah are invited, and they both dropped out before graduating. Thank you to everyone who offered advice and kind words. And to the couple people who messaged me to offer shoulders to lean on, it was nice to know internet strangers cared when my family didn't. Now in the comments, best to stay no contact with your brother and Sarah. Notice when they didn't have you to kick around anymore, they started doing it to others. But also keep in mind that it's okay to mourn the loss of the relationship that you had with your brother. I'm glad your parents are finally seeing Sarah and your brother for who they are. You need to do what's best for you. I have a question though. Did you get the key to your place that they stole back? If you didn't, you need to get your place rekeyed. If you did, you need to figure out how they got it and formulate a better plan so you can be safe in your own home. I'm glad to hear that you seem to be doing better, and congratulations on graduating. And OP replies, Thanks. I actually moved and now no one has a key but me. They got it through a now ex-friend who was looking after a spare key for emergencies. Unfortunately for me, this ex-friend is one of Sarah's friends and one of her bridesmaids. I've pretty much cut off all these people now. Wow. It boggles my mind the amount of betrayal you've talked about just in the small amount you've shared. I really hope you do well in life. I really hope you're at peace with yourself with cutting toxic people out of your life. You deserve better. Can you just tell us more about the blackmail pictures they took when you were sick? This has upset me so much, it literally makes me feel ill. I want to crash the wedding and object because it sounds like she's bringing out the worst in him, which means it's an unhealthy relationship, for if it were healthy, they would bring out the best in each other. I feel so sorry, my friend. I just can't even wrap my mind around how someone, let alone your big brother, could do a thing like this. Sending so many good vibes your way. Hopefully the bride steps on a Lego while walking down the aisles, trips into a ladder, and is subsequently splashed with red paint from head to toe. And OP replies, basically they took pictures of my flat, or apartment, or whatever you want to call it, which was horribly messy and not cleaned because I couldn't. It was like an episode of Hoarders, honestly. And also some pictures of me, not fully dressed, hair matted, looking like a psycho. I really wasn't well at this stage. They sent those photos to some friends of mine who it had turned out were quite toxic and had been talking about me behind my back and who had attempted to steal my cat. And those friends tried to use those photos to get money from me they felt I owed them, which I didn't. The photos were then posted on Facebook and stuff as ransom, and were only removed after someone reported the posts and got them taken down. I don't know who, as I was blocked from the posts. The blackmail wasn't from my brother and Sarah, but was caused by them when they sent the pictures to people they had no business sending them to. My brother did try to convince my mother to have me sectioned with the photos though. I also can't really wrap my mind around what my brother has been doing, but to me, my brother is gone. He doesn't exist anymore. There's just a man walking around with his face. I haven't been in contact with him now for more than a year, and while it does still hurt sometimes, I've moved on. As for the wedding, from what I was told, it was a terrible day. Lots of things that made me laugh when I was told, which may be considered mean, but I think it was deserved. Most people who went didn't have a good time, and I'm told that many people left early. All of this was much to my delight, not gonna lie. My birthday and graduation were fantastic though, surrounded by people I care about and who care about me. Thank you for your good vibes. Things are so different for me now compared to when I made my original post. I'm happier, genuinely happy, and I'm starting my master's degree. I have my own house that I share with my best friend, and it is clean and tidy, no more blackmail. This has turned into a mini update, but oh well. Thank you for your continued concern and interest. Anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you did like it, tell me what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure to just interact with everyone in this community. I love each and every one of you that I get to see on a daily basis. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I love you. You're on the screen right now with the YouTube members as well. If you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. You guys help me continue this YouTube journey. You keep me going. I see you guys everywhere. I see your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me. I really love every single one of you. But with that all said, I'm going to be signing off now, guys. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.